as I said before, I want you guys to feel comfortable with me, asking me questions and all that good stuff. So if I ever, come across something that you don't understand, just let me know. No big deal. Okay. We're going to have a lot of fun over the next 3 days, hopefully, and cover as much stuff as we possibly can. If you don't know about me, my website address, justinseeley.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, all that good stuff. That's all there too. I've been using WordPress for the last 4 years, 5 years, something like that, building all my websites on WordPress. I love it because it's so easy to use. And I know, a lot of people are going to look at me and go, no, it's not, dude. And it really is. Once you nail down your process, okay, it's all about getting the process nailed down. But once you get that, it's going to be a lot better. And so let's take a look at some of the agenda for today. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is getting to know WordPress, what it is, what it can do, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, then we're going to go into self-hosting WordPress, and this is the option that most of you are probably going to use. All right, because there are two ways to use WordPress. There's WordPress.com, which is a hosted service, and then there's WordPress.org, which is a self-hosted service that you host yourself. Okay, so we'll talk about the differences between those. I'm going to talk to you about how to install WordPress yourself and all that good stuff. We're then going to go into the WordPress dashboard. So I'm going to talk all about the dashboard. And if you don't know what that is, that's okay, because I'm going to show you exactly what that is. Then we're going to go into working with posts and pages. That's the meat and potatoes of WordPress, is the posts and pages. That's what your content is. Okay, that's where you get your RSS feed and all that great stuff. Then I'm going to go into using WordPress plugins. I'm going to talk about how to use them. I'm going to talk about ones that I use personally and ones that you should probably be using too. I'll discuss how to find free ones, how to find premium plugins as well. And then we'll talk about WordPress themes. That'll be the last thing we talk about today. That'll be the big one. That's what everybody wants to know, how to make their site look cool, right? So let's take a little detour here for a second. And I'm going to jump on the web. And so when you first install WordPress, and we'll get to that in a minute, okay, when you first install WordPress, this is what you see. You see a very bare bones, ordinary looking web page that doesn't necessarily look like anything, right? You see this, it's like a shell, and it's very bloggy, all right? And a lot of people don't like bloggy. And that was one of the questions. How do you make your website not look like a blog? Well, by the use of themes and plugins, you can create websites that look like this. You can create websites that look like this. Photographers should really enjoy things like this, right? That fade in, fade out, really cool looking stuff, right? This is all WordPress, and this is nothing more than posts and pages, okay? This is my website. It is a blog per se, but that's what I do. I blog and I teach, so it fits what I do, but you can do all kinds of, little nifty effects. I am going to talk a little bit about CSS, how to do nifty things like that. It's really not that hard. There's a website online that will actually do 90% of the work for you. You're going to find that I'm big on letting other people do my work for me because I'm a busy guy. I don't have a lot of time to learn how to, do all this stuff manually, right? So I use a lot of generators and stuff like that. I know how to do it myself, but I choose not to because it's just easier to let somebody else do it, right? And then, I will also show you WordPress.com. A little bit, we'll talk about it. We're not going to use it though. We're going to use WordPress.org software for the majority of it. But I just wanted to give you an idea how you can go from this to this, and literally you could, if you have the content in place, okay, the content is king in WordPress, all right, number one, content is king. The theme is the queen, all right, and nothing runs without the queen. That's my wife. So you have to have the theme, but you have to have the content in place too. So if you have posts and pages, you can create this literally in about 10 minutes. Okay? So you can go from this to this in about 10 minutes. And so I'm going to talk about all that. All right? So let's go back over here. So what can WordPress do? What can WordPress do for you? What can it do for your business? What can it do for, whatever it is you're using it for? Well, the short answer to this is everything. WordPress can do just about everything you want it to do. If you need a landing page, WordPress can be a landing page. If you need a blog, it can be a blog. If you need it to be a media hub for podcasts, videos, photography, in this case, it can do that. It can serve as all of those. WordPress is at its core what we call a content management system, and I'll get into that in a minute. So it is built to handle your content no matter what type of content you throw at it. Okay, I use WordPress for a lot of different things. I have WordPress running on my personal blog. That's what my personal blog runs on, so every time I write an article, I'm using WordPress to publish that. I have a podcast site, which is currently under redevelopment because I recently had a malicious malware attack. We'll talk about that in day 3, how to avoid that kind of stuff. But, and so I used WordPress to distribute videos. It was nothing but a video distribution platform for me. I've also used it as a landing page. Like when my sites are under construction, I build a quick landing page with WordPress so people have all my social media links and all that good stuff. And it's all driven from the same system. And it's very quick and very easy to do. Okay? It can be an e-commerce solution if you're looking to sell things, if you're looking to do memberships, subscriptions, all that kind of stuff. That can all be done through WordPress. All right? Now, it can't be done natively inside of WordPress, the e-commerce stuff. You'll have to extend it with plugins. And if you don't know what a plugin is, that's fine. We're going to cover that in depth. Okay? So, WordPress at its core is a blogging platform. And a lot of people hear that and they get turned off by it. They think, oh, a blog. I don't want a blog. You know, if I told my mom, my mom's just an everyday person who doesn't, like to use technology that much. If I told her, Mom, you need a website, and I said, I'm going to use this blogging platform to build you a website, she'd say, oh, I don't need a blog. She'd do something like that. Well, that's right. Not everybody needs a blog. I have had many iterations of my website. Anybody who's followed me on the internet over the last couple of years, you see my website go from landing page to blog to portfolio to whatever. And that's the great thing about WordPress. Your WordPress site can become a chameleon that you can instantly change anytime you want. And that is what, at the core, it is, a content management system. So no matter what, you can have the same website, but look totally different, feel totally different, do totally different things. Okay? What I always say about WordPress is it is the best and easiest way to get yourself on the web. Bar none. It absolutely is. And a lot of people will say, yeah, but I've got Website Builder Tonight that GoDaddy gave me or something like that. And that's fine. If you want to use that kind of stuff, that's totally fine. But WordPress is a flexible platform. It's an easy platform. And it's a platform that is ever evolving and expanding. Excuse me. And so, there's a ton of developers out there that are building stuff for you to use. There's a ton of free theme makers out there that are building things to make your site look cool. And they're not going to stop because the WordPress ecosystem is still growing. All right? I don't believe WordPress has quite jumped the shark as of yet. So, it's going to keep going that way. And so it's still the best and easiest way to get yourself on the web.